Good morning, and a very warm welcome to an insight to one of the most tedious steps in complete denture prosthodontics. A great man once said, knowledge is power, and sharing knowledge is the key to unlocking that power. And with this, I, Dr. Elizabeth Marathil, Assistant Professor from the Department of Prosthodontics and Crown and Bridge, Subharti Dental College and Hospital, would like to start my session. I will be covering my session in the following contents. I will be introducing the topic, followed by emphasizing on each of the relations that need to be recorded. So, to begin with and to introduce this particular topic, we know that when we are trying to relate two separate entities in a three-dimensional plane, there are infinite number of possibilities that we have at hand. In a similar way, in fabrication of a complete denture, we have the maxilla and the mandible. And relating these maxilla and this maxilla to the mandible is what helps us establish the correct relation to each other. Now, these entities are capable of forming or having infinite number of relations in a three-dimensional plane. It can be the horizontal plane, the vertical plane, or the plane along the rotation of axis. A clinician's expertise is required to determine the accurate measurements and relation of the maxilla to the mandible in order to fabricate a prosthesis which is able to functionally and aesthetically be viable to the patient. To begin with, the glossary of prosthodontic terms, the prosthodontist's best friend, defines the maxillomandibular relation as any spatial relationship of the maxilla to the mandible. It can be any one of the infinite relationships of the mandible to the maxilla. The reason why we emphasize that it is the relation of the mandible to the maxilla is because the maxilla happens to be an immobile or a static position to which the mobile or movable entity, that is the mandible, is related to. A record of this said relation is also known as the maxillomandibular relationship record. A registration of any of these positional relationship of the mandible relative to the maxilla is known as the relationship record. So, in order to get the proper record or a jaw relation, we need to accurately determine this relation in the orientation, horizontal, and vertical relation, record it, and accurately transfer this acquired data in order to be able to restore function, facial appearance, and to be able to maintain the patient's health. These said relations, as I mentioned before, the first step is the orientation relation record, wherein the relation of the maxilla to the intercondylar axis or the temporomandibular joint axis is achieved. We also usually refer to this as the orientation of the maxilla to the base of the cranium. The next record is the vertical relation record, wherein we relate the mandible to the maxilla in the vertical plane. And third, and lastly, we record the horizontal relation record, which is the relation of the mandible to the maxilla in the horizontal plane. This record is the most scary record and often terrorizing students, also known as the centric record. So, to begin with, when we speak about the orientation jaw relation, we know that this is the first jaw relation that needs to be recorded as it establishes the relationship of the maxilla to the base of the skull or the cranium. Now, we know that the first image that we know that the maxilla is being oriented to the intercondylar axis. This axis is what is constant and custom to a particular patient. Establishing the intercondylar axis, the posterior points acts as posterior reference point, and taking an anterior reference point such as the nasion or the orbital, we establish a plane, and the angle or tilt of the maxilla to this reference plane is known as the orientation jaw relation. To record the angulation of the maxilla, a plane would be formed with at least two posterior reference points and one anterior reference point, as shown in the image below. We see that A and B in this particular image are the posterior reference points that are used, and C, which happens to be the orbitail in this particular position, a particular picture, is the anterior reference point forming a plane to which the orientation or the angulation of the maxilla is recorded. So the anterior reference points are as follows. We have the orbitail minus 7, the nasion or the ala of the nose, and 43 millimeters superior from the lower border of the lip. The posterior reference point are the common posterior reference points that are used are Bayron point, Geisy point, Snow's point, and Denar's point. The instrument that is used to record the center of the condylar rotation along with a third reference point, which thereby forms a plane to record the orientation relation to the maxilla to the cranium, is known as the phase bow. Again, the phase bow is crucial in recording the orientation jaw relation. As GPT-8 describes it, it is a caliper-like instrument which is used to record the spatial relationship of the maxillary arch to some anatomic reference point or points, then transfer this relationship to an articulator. It orients the dental cast in the same relationship to the opening axis of the articulator. When we describe the phase bow, we have two distinct types of phase bow, the arbitrary and the kinematic type. The arbitrary, which is easily usable, has an earpiece type of phase bow and a fascia type of phase bow. The earpiece type of phase bow uses the ear as the posterior reference points, and the fascia uses the skin. The more accurate and tedious phase bow is the kinematic type of phase bow. Here you can see the different parts of the phase bow. You see a U-shaped frame, the condylar rod or the fascia for the condylar rod, the locking device, the bite fork, the orbital pointer, the condylar rod in an earpiece type of a phase bow that are seen. The D image is the bite fork, and the U shape that you can see is what goes around the patient's face. With this, we come to an end of orientation jaw relation.